We thought of it as, it was a responsibility and an obligation to help the people. And it was a pleasure to do that. We felt like we helped many people. They in turn helped me. After Bert died, I stayed on here, lived alone in the house that his grandfather and grandmother, the Cavins, had built. They built that house in 1907. So I lived there alone for 11 years. These buildings were built in 1915. Mr. Cavins and Mr. J.O. Watson built six buildings here. And I've heard Sid McCubbins has told me how well they were built. Sid was 12 years old and was the water carrier. And he said he got $1.50 for the whole day. But he thought the buildings were so well built that when we did think about, giving these for the museum, I asked Sid, I said, do you think that they would be good buildings? Oh, he said they would be. He said they just really are very well built. He told me that Mr. Randall was the architect of it, and he thought that Mr. Randall was from Hereford. He also built the bank and the courthouse, and I've been told that he also had charge of the First Baptist Church here. In the first building, Maxine Weaver has told how her family, had a grocery store across the street. And when these buildings were finished, they were the first ones to move in that first building. And they had their grocery store and a nice house back there. The vault is still there. And then I think in the next building, the Claude News had their place there. And then in this third building, there was a restaurant. Mr. Harv Baker was the one who ran that. For years, Bert and I used to talk about, and other friends, we'd talk about, how we wished we wanted the library and museum to probably be together. And we'd talk about that. We even talked about getting the old depot down there before it was moved away, but we didn't have the means to keep it here. And as time went on, we still wondered if sometime we couldn't have a museum to preserve our history. So many things were being lost or given away. So when Milton Bagel came back home, a hometown boy, came back with the spirit and the energy and the know-how, he called several of us together, and we met. And as he's told you, he told what he would like to do. Oh, I was excited because it was a dream that I had wanted to do. So I kept kind of quiet about wondering, well, what can I do? And I talked to the other two heirs. That was Bert's brother. And then the two children of the brother who is deceased, asking them if they would like to join me in giving these three buildings and the land here. I said, I don't know if they'll want them or what the board will think about it. But I remember that night when I offered them. And I looked around to see, what the people would think, because, they're old buildings. And one of them was so full, that first building, it was so full of the estate things that we had stored there. And I knew it would take me forever to get those things out. So, but it was a unanimous decision that they would accept our gift. And so then we had an opportunity to buy the building where the gym theater is. I feel that I've always thought, when I taught school, I taught here 26 years, and I've always thought this would be a place where we could preserve history and things for the future generations. And it pleases me so when I see my students and their children come through and they tell me, that they're pleased. I think people are oftentimes surprised that it's turned out, the old buildings have turned out very nice. You know, working together. I think that makes a community stay together and all. When you've got a project. So it's with a lot of love and for this community.